Waqf comparison.
Thank you for joining us on The Burning Question. I'm Niranjan. In the last few weeks, there has been a surge in the number of terror attacks in Kashmir. We've had 2 more attacks today, one in Anantnag, another in Srinagar. Terrorists have been eliminated, but we still have leaders. After all these years, after the abrogation of Article 370, there was a lull in the attacks, but the attacks have now begun. And even today, some leaders, not all, some leaders say, you cannot blame Pakistan for everything. Are we back to square one? That's our focus at 9 p.m. Here are the headlines. Back-to-back terror attacks in Kashmir, 2 more in the last 24 hours. Lashkar link confirmed to the attacks in Kashmir in the last 24 hours. But can you believe it? Farooq Abdullah says you cannot blame Pakistan every time. Who does he want us to blame then? Farooq Abdullah says don't kill terrorists. Owaisi says if you want only Hindus on the Tirupati board, then why have non-Muslims on the Waqf? As Canada loses the plot and targets Indian Home Minister Amit Shah, India hits back, says it's a warning to Canada as it crosses every line. Farooq Abdullah is a very, very strange leader, ladies and gentlemen. He's strange because before the elections, he said, I warned Pakistan that if they want decent relationship with India, they should put an end to the terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. It was the same Farooq Abdullah before the elections. Farooq Abdullah a few days back said Kashmir will never become Pakistan. Farooq Abdullah today says that we cannot blame Pakistan every single time. And he says you should not kill terrorists, you should capture them. So which Farooq Abdullah do you believe? And have things remained the same in Kashmir after the abrogation of Article 370 and after the elections? That's our focus on The Burning Question. Here's what happened.
Not new to making flip-flops, Farooq Abdullah has batted for Pakistan once again. Amid security situation deteriorating in Jammu and Kashmir, Farooq Abdullah has questioned if there is an agency involvement behind the terror attacks. He also questioned if agencies are involved to destabilize the Omar Abdullah government.
इस बात मैं ये कहूँगा कि इसमें तहकीकात होनी चाहिए हो कैसे रहा है इसके बजाय कि इनको मारें इनको पकड़ना चाहिए और पकड़ के हमें मालूम करना चाहिए कौन इनके पीछे कोई ऐसी एजेंसी तो पीछे नहीं है जो उमर अब्दुल्ला को डिस्टेबलाइज करना चाहती है।
Now the BJP has come down heavily on the national conference.
देखिए ये तो सरकारों में रहे हैं इनको इस बात को समझना चाहिए बेतुके बयान देना अच्छी बात नहीं है।
आज जब कश्मीर घाटी में पाकिस्तान और उनके आतंकवादी खूनी खेल खेलने की साजिश और कोशिश कर रहे हैं तो डॉक्टर फारूक अब्दुल्ला साहब को इस प्रकार की बयानबाजी से बचना चाहिए। डॉक्टर फारूक अब्दुल्ला साहब को 2 टूक शब्दों में कहना चाहिए कि जम्मू कश्मीर में खून खराबे के लिए अगर कोई जिम्मेवार है तो वो पाकिस्तान है।
Farooq's statement comes after a few days ago when Farooq had taken a tough stance against Pakistan.
पाकिस्तान के हुक्मरानों से ये कहना चाहता हूँ अगर वो सचमुच हिंदुस्तान से दोस्ती चाहते हैं तो फिर ये बंद कीजिए कश्मीर पाकिस्तान नहीं बनेगा, नहीं बनेगा, नहीं बनेगा।
Farooq's flip-flop is, however, not expected. In fact, his shocking statement comes as forces gunned down 2 terrorists in an encounter in Anantnag. Bags of terrorists were also recovered in Khaneyar and 4 of our officers were injured. Meanwhile, a search operation was also launched in Poonch.
Joining us on the burning question this evening are Sanju Verma, who's a national spokesperson of the BJP, Ashoke Pandit, filmmaker, Kashmiri Pandit, joining us on the show. Aditya Gupta is a PDP leader, contested the recent elections. And I also have Dr. Peerzada, who's a political analyst leaning towards the national conference. Aditya Gupta, you are from, I wouldn't say the opposition in Jammu and Kashmir, but there are many similarities to what National Conference says and does to what your party does. Now, but I want to ask you a straight question. When you have somebody as senior as Farooq Abdullah who says something like, there is an inquiry needed, he says there is an investigation needed into the rising attacks in the valley and that attempts are being made to destabilize Omar government, right? Now, what is he suggesting?
First of all, since we are not part of the government and we have legislators sitting in the opposition, we are the opposition as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. Whatever Mr. Abdullah has to say, I don't want to read too much into whatever he has to say. Fact of the matter is that every time we lose a soldier or we lose a civilian, I think that's a bolt to the nation and that's a bolt to our sovereignty. Fact of the matter is that Pakistan will never improve as far as it's an industry for them. And for all those who want the Kashmir to be burning, for them it's an industry. We have to ensure that the casualty on our side is limited. If it comes to a terrorist, if you can, there's obviously a conduct or a procedure by which the armed forces operate. If they feel that they can neutralize the person without killing him, it is up to them. It is up to the officer on ground. It is up to the soldier on ground who has to take a call on that. We are no one to comment on it. Obviously, the procedures are laid down. If you can arrest a person without killing him, for sure you can do it, but not at the cost of our own casualty. That's the stand. As far as what Mr. Abdullah is going to say, I cannot say because there's a 31st of October statement also. There's a statement prior to the elections also.
Yeah, who's the real Farooq? Aditya, you know, the thing about Farooq Abdullah is who's the real Farooq Abdullah? Ashoke Pandit, will the real Farooq Abdullah please show up? Because we've seen so many versions of Farooq Abdullah. We've heard people say you cannot trust Farooq Abdullah because he will change his version. I mean, I'm stunned in the last 3 weeks. The number of times he's changed his statements. Ashoke Pandit.
Niranjan, happy Diwali to you and happy New Year.
Yeah.
And I pray and I wish that your channel goes ahead and ahead the way Arnab has been, carrying on with his channel so successfully. So
our line hasn't changed, Ashok. I'm going to pause you on that point. Our line hasn't changed. Our line hasn't changed for the last 10, 15 years.
No, I know. No, it will not be. It will not be. Niranjan, the only people who can understand the real face of Farooq Abdullah is a Kashmiri Pandit. We know what Farooq Abdullah is all about. And we have grown seeing him, observing him, experiencing him. And we know, we have seen all his faces at different times, at different periods. He is different in Srinagar, he is different in Jammu, he is different in Delhi, he is different in Calcutta, Bengal, he is different in South. So this man is basically a comedian who knows how to change his faces. And he probably forgets what he has said the last moment. And Farooq Abdullah, who has been into the business of terrorism, has indirectly with this statement of...
Why do you say business? 1 minute. Why do you say business of terrorism? Why do you say business of terrorism? 1 minute. Ashok, I'm pausing you there. Why do you say business of terrorism? Because terrorism was created, it was nursed by people like Farooq Abdullah in Kashmir. My genocide happened because of him. My ethnic cleansing happened because of him. He is the man responsible for seeing to it that the entire community is out and he is in London. So we have seen him
promoting terrorism. Today, the statement of his, by not blaming Pakistan, not accusing Pakistan, proves that he is into business of terrorism. Niranjan. Now, indirectly with this statement of his, he has said that these killings are conducted by the Indian government, Indian agencies. It is not Pakistan. He's indirectly said that तहकीकात होनी चाहिए, इनको मारना नहीं चाहिए, इनको पकड़ के इनसे पूछताछ होनी चाहिए. He is expecting the terrorists to say कि मुझे जो है हमारे प्रधानमंत्री ने ऑर्डर किया है ये सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस पे गोली चलाने के लिए. So he is accused the government, he is accused the government agencies of doing this crime. So how low you can go, how low you can stoop immediately after the government is bothered about his son's government. He's bothered about son's government, its image should not be tarnished. So this, and that's why we in Kashmir is very well known as a disco minister, as a disco leader. You know, he always keeps on shifting his stance. So we are not surprised. You might be surprised with his, shifting of goalposts. We are used to it. We know tomorrow he will say that Narendra Modi is the best prime minister in the world. He will say that. Next day he will say that, no, I don't believe in him. So we as Kashmiri Pandits who have faced his atrocities, we have faced his everything in Kashmir face to face, we have fought his act of, whatever he has done to us. We know that this man keeps on changing his face. Tomorrow he'll be saying something else. So we as people who have suffered the genocide and we held him responsible along with other political parties, it doesn't affect us anymore. We laugh it out. We don't take him seriously.
Yeah, okay. So let me ask a question to Peerzada and then Sanju will come in with that, right? My question to you is, Mr. Peerzada, you know what Omar Abdullah says, Farooq Abdullah says, sorry. I have the exact quote, right? He says, there should be, an quote unquote, there should be an investigation as to how these are taking place after government formation. Okay. He says these attacks are taking place after government formation. I have doubts that perhaps it is being done by those who want to destabilize this government. Who do you think is trying to destabilize this government? Is it A, Pakistan? Is it B, PDP? Is it C, BJP? Who is trying to destabilize the Omar Abdullah government in your view, Mr. Peerzada?
I wish good evening to all of you. And the statement, the utterances made by Dr. Farooq Abdullah is actually known to him only because in the context, the perception he has about the situation, I cannot be judgmental on a statement, but the fact of the matter is that Dr. Farooq Abdullah is very famous, very known for it, is that his statements range from humorous to serious, that resonates with the change of audience as well. So Dr. Farooq Abdullah cannot be adopted in terms of nationalism, not at all. He has his own way of issue statements and all that. We as a panelists should be able to do something meaningful business to assuage the feelings, to help out, to sort out the issue. Because there is a problem.
Like what? One second. Can you please elaborate on sort out the issue? Can you please elaborate on the point that you just made? You said sort out the issue. What issues do you want sorted out?
You may please bear with me for a few seconds. There was a lull. It was looking that there a permanent peace at the turn, but it was never a permanent peace. There are issues. There are procedures. We need to address this. You need a clinical approach. Then applying a bomb. We are trying.
Clinical approach like Article 370. You mean like a clinical approach like abrogation of Article 370? I'll tell you why. You want a clinical approach like abrogation of Article 370. You know it. I know it, and I can tell you that on the day results came out, we had a few panelists from Kashmir, including those from the National Conference Congress Party. They were here in our studios. They admitted that thanks to Article 370 being abrogated, the number of terror attacks came down. Ashoke Pandit was in our studio. And that is why I want to go across to Sanju Verma now. Sanju Verma, we had an impression that after Article 370 was abrogated, the terror attacks did come down. Statistically, they did come down. But there's an alarming rise in the last 1 month. What's going on?
First and foremost, Niranjan, let me lay out some basic data for your audience. As you very rightly said, post the abrogation of Article 370, stone pelting incidents are down 100%, terror incidents are down 69%, the casualties of armed forces are down by 44%, and the casualties of civilian personnel are down by 82%. And these data points have been shared by Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, over and over again. This is not Sanju Verma doffing something off her hat. So point number one, after the abrogation of Article 370, while I do admit that more needs to be done, enough is never enough. But we have, crossed a lot of milestones in terms of bringing peace and stability to Jammu Kashmir, something that was unheard of, unthinkable till about 10 years back. The second and most important point, I think Ashoke Pandit made a very relevant point. He used strong language, but I completely agree. There are those who are into the business of terrorism. If not into the business of terrorism, at least I'll go so far as saying that these are terror empathizers and terror sympathizers. I mean, has anyone forgotten after the killing of Burhan Wani? Mehbooba Mufti went around town saying, oh, Burhan Wani was the son of a poor headmaster trying to rationalize a bloodthirsty terrorist. And look at what happened very recently, just in the run-up to Lok Sabha 2024. I remember that there were a few incidents where unfortunately we lost our army men in Rajouri and Poonch, and Charanjit Singh Channi, who is a Rajya Sabha member from Congress, a close alliance partner of Farooq Abdullah and National Conference, he said, "Arey koi mara hi nahi Rajouri Poonch mein. Ye to sab dramebazi hai, stuntbazi hai. The Modi government is spreading canards and rumors in order to get brownie points ahead of general elections." I mean, that is as low as these guys can stoop to. And the other important point, I agree with Mr. Pandit, the likes of Farooq Abdullah are past masters when it comes to shifting the goalposts. Aaj bolenge, sab kuch changa si in the valley. Tomorrow they'll say nothing is working and Modi is to be blamed. What I found very, very concerning is Farooq Abdullah saying that not only should terrorists not be killed, but he went so far as saying that, this is the handiwork of some intel agencies who are trying to destabilize the newly minted Omar Abdullah government. I mean, it cannot get more ridiculous and bizarre than this. And the most important point is this. For the Omar Abdullah, Farooq Abdullah and their ecosystem variety, you are the same lot which undermined the credibility of our armed forces and the Modi government when we carried out the surgical strike in 2016. You are the same lot which undermined the credibility of Modi government and India's armed forces when we avenged Pulwama with that brilliant Balakot strike by going 30 kilometers into the Pakistani Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area, which was never done in post-independent India's history. And you are the same lot which mollycoddles terrorists, but you have a problem when the Indian government sets up a SIT to probe the death of Justice Neelkant Ganju, who was murdered under very, very unfortunate circumstances. You are the same lot which says that Kashmir Files is a figment of one's imagination and the 1990 Kashmiri genocide to hua hi nahi. And you are the same lot which does not hesitate to hug the likes of Asia Andrabi. But you have a problem with abrogation of Article 370, which has actually democratized the benefits of development, which now percolate down to the Pahadis, the Bakkarwals, the Gujjars, and most importantly, the Valmikis, who were not only disenfranchised for the longest time, but could not even aspire for anything better apart from serving as sweepers. So that is the change which is unpalatable to these pro-jihadi elements, and that is the basic truth, which is hard to digest, but it needs to be called out.
Yeah, but this very, very strange comment, I would say, Aditya, when he says, rather than killing them, I'm quoting Farooq Abdullah, he says, rather than killing them, that is the perpetrators, they should be caught and asked who is behind them. We should check if any agency is trying to destabilize the Omar Abdullah government. Now, why would anybody in their right mind say don't kill terrorists, especially after they have opened fire? They have targeted innocent people, and they don't, they don't even look at, they're targeting non-locals. First of all, they're targeting non-locals. When I say they're targeting Indians, okay? There is this new term, phrase called non-locals, non-Kashmiris, etc. But look at the identity. I mean, people cutting across religions have been targeted, right? When these seven lives were lost, right? 7 lives were lost, including a doctor, right? There were Muslims, there were Hindus among the victims. They didn't look at the religion of those they were opening fire on. At least for that, keeping that in mind, Farooq Abdullah should have measured his words, right? To say, don't open fire, don't kill them, what does he expect? Carry a taser gun?
No, see, I said it right at the outset. See, the soldier on ground, the soldier who's facing the bullet or the terrorist at that particular moment is the best judge. The normal protocol is if you can arrest the person, you arrest it. If not, then you have to safeguard your own self. I said the casualties we cannot afford. We cannot afford even a single casualty, be it an armed force officer or be a civilian. He should have measured it. There's no doubt about it. The more clarification will follow in, obviously, because there's no clarification as such coming from National Conference or from Dr. Saab's own section. There has been no specific word as to what his intention was. He said you have to look at the agency. He never said about the intelligence. Let's not add a prefix the word as Mr. Pandit was considering it to be or Ms. Verma was considering it to be. He said there's an agency behind it. Agency here.
No, what is the agency you think, Aditya? Which agency do you think is referring to? Which agency? When he says agency, is he even in his wildest dreams trying to suggest that it's a central agency?
I think as far as the agency is concerned, when it comes to agency, what we understand is if someone is trying to destabilize things here, the agencies come from Pakistan only. They don't come from anywhere else. At least the Indian agencies don't try to destabilize and kill their own people. This has been generally what has happened to few exceptions to obviously where certain rogue elements in the armed forces have gone beyond.
No, he could have. No, he didn't say Pakistan. He did not say Pakistan. In fact, he said, to the contrary, Aditya, to the contrary, he has not said Pakistan anywhere. He has said agency, and he has also said in the same news conference today that you cannot blame Pakistan all the time, every time. He has said that.
31st of October, people were beating drums around his statement. Those who were clapping, please ask them.
Quickly.
No, what will they say now?
No, you're right. I'll tell you what. I confess, Aditya. I'll confess because I still remember very, very distinctly. I still remember an interview of Farooq Abdullah where he came in. I think it was one of the last interviews that he did with Arnab, where I still remember he was targeted at an event. And we got him live and. He said, I'm a nationalist, I'm an Indian first. And he said all of these things. And we really applauded him for saying that, right? And then I still remember very clearly, a few weeks after that, he started, parroting the Pakistan line. Now, Ashoke Pandit, that's the problem. That is the problem. And then when you say something like this, that you should not shoot terrorists, you should investigate terrorists. I mean, how do you... These are not statements somebody like Farooq Abdullah should be saying with all his years of experience.
No, but he's been saying these kind of lines right from last 30 years. There is nothing new, Niranjan. There is nothing new. But what I'm trying to say is, as Aditya ji was saying, you see, it's very obvious. We see people are not fools. He has cleared Pakistan on one hand, and he's talking about an agency. And he's saying that it's to destabilize the JNK government led by Omar Abdullah. So I'm sure that Pakistan, whom he has been always trying to be friends with, will try to destabilize this government of Omar Abdullah. So indirectly he's trying to say, it's very obvious, very, very clear. Let's not speak lies to our own selves. He is trying to say that the political parties here, the agencies held by the center are trying to see to it that this government falls, and that's why the killings and the terror attacks have increased. You mean to say that agencies here are hiring Pakistani terrorists to kill people here? What kind of logic is this? What kind of understanding is this? You cannot be so much anti-national that you are blaming your own agencies. You have taken an oath of on Indian Constitution. You have said that you believe in Indian Constitution. That's why you stood for elections this time. You cannot blame the essence or blame the entire loyalty of this Constitution or this country towards its own security forces. You should apologize for that.
No, I'll tell you.
Fighting day out against the terrorists.
No, I just want to make one point to Peerzada and then Sanju can take it from there. Peerzada said, we need a long-lasting solution. We need peace. We need some issues addressed. He was basically, in layman's words, he was trying to say, boss, talk to Pakistan. That's what he meant. Talk to Pakistan. We need long-standing peace. Please tell me, Mr. Peerzada, when has talking to Pakistan ever got you peace? Please show me with data a time when you spoke to Pakistan and you had peace. Please show me. And also for the record, Mr. Peerzada, recently, hear me out. Recently, the External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, was in Pakistan, and while in Pakistan, he spoke about terrorism directed at India from Pakistan and elements in China backing Pakistan while they spread terror in India. Now, that's as far as India can go. What more do you want from the center?
Mr. Niranjan, I am not trying to make bones out of this. I am a very plain-speaking person. We are living in this conflict. We have suffered. We are bruised like anything. We want peace with dignity. We want to live. We have some other issues. So I said that it needs a clinical approach. So that this is treated for all. We are suffering. We are the worst sufferers. And let me add another thing. The Dr. Farooq Abdullah's statement that in Kashmir we have learned during the long turmoil, this conflict, that suspicion and rumor, these two have now obtained a sort of credibility in Kashmir. While the rumor flows, it ultimately proves the correct.
What is suspicion? One second. What is the suspicion and rumor? No, what is the suspicion and rumor? No, I'll tell you what is the suspicion and rumor. Your suspicion is that there is an attempt to destabilize the Omar government. What is the rumor? Fact is, no, one minute. Sir, excuse me, sir. Even before Omar Abdullah took oath, there have been attacks in Kashmir. Okay? There have been attacks. In the run-up, after the elections were announced, those attacks increased. After Omar Abdullah came in, those attacks have continued. It hasn't increased. I don't think statistically it's right to say or allege or insinuate that the attacks are aimed at destabilizing your government.
Yeah. Mr. Niranjan, we are the general perspective.
I want Sanju to respond, Okay, you complete your point, I'll get Sanju to respond.
In Kashmir, agencies.
Niranjan, can you moderate the debate, please?
Who are these agencies? Sanju, who are these agencies? Is you think he's trying to allege, even in his wildest dreams, that it was someone in India?
Niranjan, let me be very clear. I will not allow any of the elements today on your show to digress and deflect from the basic issue at hand. Let's not forget that Farooq Abdullah is a repeat and habitual offender, and I'll take you back to just as recently as May 2024. Do you remember, Niranjan, prior to the election results coming out in June, we had BJP leaders doing one rally after the other, and Rajnath Singh, the Union Defence Minister, at a rally in Darjeeling in West Bengal said that POK is an integral part of India. POK hamara hai aur hum ise wapas lekar rahenge. And do you recall what was the statement made in May 2024 by Farooq Abdullah? He said, Rajnath Singh ji कहते हैं POK हमारा है तो क्या पाकिस्तान ने चूड़ियां पहन कर रखी हैं? Pakistan is not wearing bangles. इनके पास तो atom bomb है. They will demolish India with their atom bombs. Look at the audacity and the temerity and the gall of Farooq Abdullah, that instead of saying that POK Bharat ka abhinna ang hai, abhinna hissa hai, he actually questions the Union Defence Minister, saying, why are you mollycoddling, the Indian Armed Forces? Why do you claim that POK is ours? Are you not scared of Pakistan? That is the kind of anti-national, anti-India line that Farooq Abdullah repeatedly spews at every given available opportunity. And I just want to end by saying one thing.
Yeah.
अफजल हम शर्मिंदा है, तेरे कातिल जिंदा है. भारत तेरे टुकड़े होंगे इंशाअल्लाह. This is the same lot which shed copious tears when Hezbollah chief Ibrahim Qubaisi and then Hassan Nasrallah were assassinated, saying har ghar se Hassan Nasrallah niklega. This is the same lot which shed copious tears when Ismail Haniyeh and then Yahya Sinwar, the two Hamas chiefs, were killed, and rightfully so. But this is the same lot which will never shed even crocodile tears for what happened on the 7th of October 2023 to Israel. So my limited point is this: at the epicenter of the problem is radical Islamist terror, and we need to call it out without window dressing it. We need to call out radical Islamist terror and their empathizers and supporters and sympathizers like Farooq Abdullah.
Yeah, okay.
Because these guys give intellectual cover fire to radical Islamist terror.
Yeah. I only want to end by saying, Mr. Peerzada, that I wish that there is only one version of Farooq Abdullah. There is only one Farooq Abdullah, one voice in which Farooq Abdullah speaks, right? We hope that day comes when Farooq Abdullah says one thing while questioning Pakistan, while telling Pakistan not to back these terrorists, while asking Lashkar not to target Kashmiris and Indians. I hope he condemns Pakistan and continues to do so until...
One thing before you conclude.
Sorry?
Mr. Niranjan, I may add only a small thing before you conclude.
Okay, I'll give you the last word. I'll give you the last word, 30 seconds. I'll give you the last word, 30 seconds. 30 seconds, go ahead.
Dr. Farooq Abdullah has become oversensitive because the government has come into being after a long 10 years. People have large expectations. Maybe he may be exhibiting the pressure that government may be shaken by such attackers. Who does it and who are the people? Why this is happening all of a sudden? So in this context, he might have made the statement. It is better known to him the full context, the full background.
No, but that doesn't mean he blames the Indian agencies.
No, I'll tell you something.
Yes, Pakistan terrorism.
No, let me tell you one thing.
What
Because
kind of
if
logic is this?
I'll end by saying,
What kind of logic is this?
I'll only end by saying, Dr. Peerzada, if Farooq Abdullah feels even if he remotely feels or thinks that if terrorists are not eliminated, then the number of attacks will come down. If he feels that killing of terrorists is leading to more attacks in the valley, then he's wrong, because terrorists will continue to be eliminated, right? That's not going to stop. Our forces will not stop doing that. Let's leave it at that. Sanju, Verma, Ashoke Pandit and Dr. Peerzada, thank you for joining us.